performers who died in front of their audiences. As the old adage conveys, to die doing what you love is perceived as a significant blessing. It represents the ultimate joy of engaging in your passions right up to life's final act, even if it entails risks such as those involved in daredevil activities like tightrope walking or aerial gymnastics. Yet sometimes this notion becomes tragically literal when individuals lose their lives mid-performance. When musicians play their last note, actors recite their final dialogue on stage, or television personalities make one last appearance before an audience. They exit under dire circumstances and in full view of many witnesses who may be left with lasting trauma. From stunts that turned fatal to combatants whose confrontations ended with grave consequences, to seasoned musicians unable to conclude their concluding set, here are remarkable individuals who perfectly embodied the principle of working till they could work no more on stage or during live broadcasts. Dimebag Darrell Abbott. The allure of a concert, especially within the cozy confines of a small club, lies in the close connection between the performers and the audience, with no barriers in between. However, this proximity sometimes comes with less stringent security measures. This shortfall became devastatingly apparent on December 8, 2004, during a performance by rock band Damage Plan at the Alrosa Villa Club in Columbus, Ohio. Damage Plan was a new project formed by Dimebag Darrell Abbott, the guitarist from the well-known metal group Pantera, after their split. Nathan Gale, a 25-year-old former Marine, secretly entered the club armed with a firearm and climbed onto the stage shortly after Damage Plan had started playing. Mere moments into the first song, only 90 seconds, the set turned tragic as Gale began shooting at Abbott. Tragically, the 38-year-old guitarist was among those who lost their lives that night, alongside fan Nathan Bray, crew member Jeff Thompson, and a club employee Erin Holk. CBS News conveyed that Gale, who was said by his mother to be discharged from the military for mental health issues, was also killed that night, shot by a responding police officer. Although various speculations concerning Gale's motives circulated, none were definitively validated. Richard Versal. Opera often dramatizes various tragic themes, captivating audiences with emotive performances that, while powerful, are safely contained within the realm of storytelling. However, an unforeseen event at the Metropolitan Opera in New York starkly blurred the lines between stage tragedy and real-life sorrow for opera singer Richard Versal, leading to a profoundly accidental but poignant demonstration of life-imitating art. In January 1996, during a performance of the Makropoulos case, Versale was embodying Vitek, an elderly employee of a law office. The opening scene required Versal to ascend a library-style ladder to file away a document. As he delivered the line, "Too bad you can only live so long," life imitated art far too closely when Versal unexpectedly plummeted from the ladder. The tragic irony was that this fall was not part of the performance. The 63-year-old tenor who had graced stages across Europe and other locales was felled by a fatal heart attack, causing him to lose his footing. Nick Menza. The concept of a death fitting of a metal icon is as hardcore as the genre itself, and Nick Menza embodied what it means to be metal. Before his sudden demise, Menza rocked as an integral member of the legendary band Megadeth, where he's seen second from the left in the picture, mastering the drums with them through the 1990s. He showcased his prowess on celebrated albums such as Rust in Peace and Countdown to Extinction. Menza's talent extended beyond Megadeth as he played with multiple bands, including Chodal's Trunk, Fear Assembly, Orphaned to Hatred, and OM. Tragically, it was in May 2016 during a performance with OHM, a project initiated by his former Megadeth mate, guitarist Chris Poland, at a jazz venue in Los Angeles known as the Baked Potato, that Menza's heart tragically failed him. According to reports from emergency responders, the 51-year-old drummer suffered what looked to be a severe heart attack. He collapsed on stage midway through the third tune of the set and devastatingly was declared dead upon arriving at a hospital nearby. Sib Hashian. As an original pillar of the band Boston, drummer Sib Hashian contributed to the rhythm section on two of the era's monumental rock albums, Boston, which sold an impressive 17 million copies, and Don't Look Back with 7 million units sold. Those days, however, were part of a bygone era, and the demand for Boston's music had diminished over time. In his later years, Hashian joined other rock veterans on the classic Rock Nostalgia Tour and embarked on the Legends of Rock cruise. Music aficionados on this cruise were serenaded by a lineup that included past members of illustrious groups like Foreigner Kansas, the Beach Boys, and of course Boston, among other favorites from your dad's record collection. Regrettably, in 2017, Hashian set out for what would be his final journey, departing Miami in March bound for a series of Caribbean locales. Sadly, during one of the seafaring shows, the 67-year-old Hashian suddenly collapsed behind his drum kit. Despite exhaustive efforts from the ship's emergency personnel, Hashian could not be resuscitated. Jerome Rodale. During the mid-20th century, Jerome Rodale, also known as J.I. Rodale, championed health practices that were considered rather unconventional at the time, such as advocating for the consumption of foods free from heavy antibiotics and supporting local food sources. Rodale dedicated years to writing and speaking about these and other health-related practices, confident they would significantly extend one's lifespan. On June 7, 1971, while appearing on a recorded episode of ABC's The Dick Cavett Show, the 72-year-old proponent of longevity optimistically claimed he had never felt better and boasted that he would live to 100, as reported by the New York Times. Tragically, Rodale's time fell far short of his centennial prediction. He passed away just minutes after expressing this sentiment. Remaining on stage as Cavett engaged with another guest, Rodale suddenly became still before emitting a disturbing, deep noise. His complexion turned pale, his mouth agape, marking his unexpected death right there on the Dick Cavett Show, witnessed by a live studio audience. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Cole, Bruce Hampton. Regardless of whether you're a fan of jam bands like Grateful Dead, Fish, and the String Cheese Incident, with their extended improvisational guitar jams, you owe a debt of gratitude to Colonel Bruce Hampton. He was affectionately known as the jam scene's patriarch and collaborated with an array of musical groups, including the Quark Alliance, the Late Bronze Age, and Hampton Grease Band. In May 2017, a gathering of Hampton's colleagues, admirers, and fellow musicians took place at the venerable Fox Theatre in Atlanta for Hampton 70, a celebration of Colonel Bruce Hampton, which, unexpectedly, turned out to be Hampton's swan-song performance. Celebrating his 70th birthday, which had occurred the previous day, the event brought together an array of talent for an epic jam tribute to Hampton and his musical legacy. During one performance, as the young guitar prodigy Taz Niederauer was wowing the crowd with his skills, Hampton unassumingly dropped to his knees, leaning on a speaker. Completely oblivious to the gravity of the situation, Niederauer, along with members from Blues Traveler and Widespread Panic, kept the music going with Turn On Your Love Light, while Hampton had tragically taken his final bow. Reverend Jeff Mosier, a banjoist taking part in the event, stated on Facebook that at first it seemed like Hampton dropped to his knees as a gesture of mock subservience to Niederauer's talent, not because he was in distress. Sadly, it was the latter. Hampton had taken his last breath and passed away right there. Dick Shawn. In April 1987, the comedian Dick Shawn entertained a crowd of around 500 at the University of California, San Diego, with a show filled with humor and creativity. He began with an act where he portrayed a severed head laid out on a dinner table, followed by a scene where he humorously danced off-beat to music. Shawn then moved on to a performance about the apocalypse, during which he lay motionless on the stage, leading the audience to believe he was playing dead, tying into the theme of global annihilation. An audience member, Tom Wortel, recounted to the LA Times how audience remarks like "take his wallet" seamlessly integrated into Shawn's act, given its theme. However, after Shawn remained still for over 5 minutes, the crowd's laughter and jests faded away. Subsequently, a physician rushed to the stage, checked for a pulse, and turned Shawn onto his back. The spectators were then asked to leave as Shawn was given CPR, and shortly after, an ambulance was dispatched to transport him to a hospital. Efforts to revive him proved futile, and Shaun was declared dead less than 2 hours after the performance began, at the age of 57. Tommy Cooper. In April 1984, the iconic Welsh comedian and magician Tommy Cooper gave a performance on the variety show Live from Her Majesty's, which was being broadcast live across the UK from London's Her Majesty's Theatre. Cooper performed his renowned Magic Cloak act, where he humorously produced increasingly large items from beneath a voluminous gown, to the amusement of the audience. For this act, the show's host, Jimmy Tarbuck, served as Cooper's assistant. Tarbuck explained to Wales Online that the skit was intended to climax with him handing Cooper a stepladder, humorously implying it was too sizable to have been concealed under the gown, highlighting the act's playfully absurd nature. However, the performance took an unexpected and somber turn. Following a routine where a lovely assistant joined him, Cooper suddenly collapsed onto the stage, which Tarbuck initially believed to be an attempt at impromptu physical comedy, a common element in Cooper's performances. The live audience responded with laughter, unaware they were witnessing a real-life emergency rather than a comedic act. Unfortunately, the 63-year-old Cooper was experiencing a heart attack during the live broadcast. In a swift decision, the show's director immediately cut to an unplanned commercial break to spare viewers at home from the distressing scene of Cooper being hurriedly taken off stage. Subsequently, he was transported to a hospital where he was declared dead on arrival. Owen Hart. In the 1990s, Owen Hart carved out his place as one of the most beloved and electrifying figures in WWE, sharing the ring and the wrestling heritage with his brother, Bret the Hitman Hart. In May 1999, during the Over the Edge pay-per-view event, Hart was scheduled to make an entrance as a pompous superhero character. This character, Blue Blazer, was set to be spectacularly lowered into the ring from the rafters using a sophisticated wire rigging system. Unfortunately, a catastrophic failure of this system caused Hart to fall 78 feet, striking the top rope before collapsing into the ring, a fall that would prove fatal. The silence that enveloped the 16,000 spectators at Kansas City's Kemper Arena was deafening, as broadcaster Jim Ross faced the grim task of informing those present that what they had witnessed was not planned or part of the show's theatrics in any manner. TV viewers, spared the sight of the incident itself due to the broadcast airing highlights of Hart's previous matches at the moment, were oblivious to the unfolding tragedy. Hart, who had just turned 34 years old, was quickly taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Irma Bule. Do you recall the iconic moment in 2001 when Britney Spears performed with a python at the MTV Video Music Awards? Now think of a scenario where the snake wasn't handled safely, resulting in Spears being bitten and fatally injured. Tragically, this scenario did occur with Irma Bule, a singer from Indonesia. In 2016, during a performance in Karawang, Indonesia, 29-year-old Bule was using a live snake, a cobra no less, as part of her act, a practice she had been familiar with for years. However, early into her performance, merely during her second song, the cobra bit her on the thigh. Familiarity with using non-venomous snakes in the past, like pythons, whose mouths were secured closed, led Bule to underestimate the danger. She assumed the cobra had been made safe either through defanging or removal of its venom. This time, unfortunately, no such precautions had been taken, yet Bule was encouraged to go on with the performance. Roughly 45 minutes after the bite, while still on stage, Bule began to vomit and experience seizures. She was swiftly taken to a local hospital where she was declared dead. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim stood out in the music world as an extraordinarily distinctive hitmaker. Tall and lanky, with an appearance in stark contrast to his stage name, he delivered songs with a remarkably high, wavering and delicate voice. His rendition of the old-time favorite Tiptoe Through the Tulips With Me became a cultural sensation when it ascended to the 17th spot on the Billboard pop chart in 1968, his act further marked by his signature ukulele accompaniment. Adding to his unconventional fame, Tiny Tim married a young 17-year-old fan named Vicky on The Tonight Show in 1969, which was broadcast to a staggering 21.4 million households, setting a viewership record for Johnny Carson's show at the time. Tiny Tim's life was as remarkable as his character, and his death mirrored his passion for bringing joy to others. On the evening of November 30th, 1996, he was performing at a fundraising event hosted by the Women's Club of Minneapolis. Midway through his iconic song, "Tiptoe Through the Tulips with Me," he suddenly ceased playing and informed his wife, Susan Gardner, he had divorced Vicky years prior, that he wasn't feeling well. Shortly thereafter, at 64 years of age, the entertainer collapsed and tragically passed away a few hours later in a Minneapolis hospital, with cardiac arrest being the likely cause. Barbara Weldens. The French vocalist Weldens was on the trajectory to fame when her burgeoning career and life were abruptly halted by a tragic mishap on stage. In 2017, at the age of 35, Weldens had recently introduced her debut album Le Grand de l'Homme to acclaim and was a headline performer at the Léo Ferré Festival, held within a church in the small village of Goudron, France. Those present recounted that Weldens delivered an exceptional performance, which was met with enthusiastic applause. Basking in the adulation, she tragically collapsed, succumbing to a sudden cardiac arrest. Initial assessments regarding the cause of this dreadful event were speculative. However, it was preliminarily suggested that an electrical fault might have led to Weldens' heart failure. Subsequently, a post-mortem examination revealed that electrocution was the definitive cause of death. It was noted that Weldens had chosen to perform barefoot, which tragically could have led her to step on an electrified wire, resulting in her untimely electrocution. Hijo del perro Aguayo. In March 2015, a highly anticipated match took place within the realm of the DlED, Mexico's wrestling scene equivalent to the WWE, featuring two of its most luminous stars, Hijo del perro Aguayo, real name Pedro Aguayo Ramirez, and Rey Mysterio Jr., real name Oscar Gutierrez. Aguayo was renowned as the preeminent rudo, or villain, in the Opry circuit. During this bout, Mysterio executed a potent flying kick, propelling Aguayo toward the ropes with such force that Aguayo's head struck them, leading to what appeared to be severe spinal injury. As Aguayo remained motionless on the mat, both Mysterio and the referee quickly realized the gravity of the situation and called for medical assistance. The response was tortuously delayed, with the attending physician arriving 80 seconds later, a span during which critical intervention could have been administered. The Tijuana Wrestling Commission later disclosed that Aguayo's untimely demise at the age of 35 was the result of a heart attack which was itself precipitated by a cervical stroke following the breakage of his neck. Les Harvey. Performing on stage carries with it an array of potential hazards. Among these, there's the risk of stage equipment like lights unexpectedly falling or a performer accidentally stepping off the edge of the stage. However, it's the intricacies of electrical setups required to energize the myriad of electric guitars and amplifiers that introduced a lethal risk for Les Harvey, the guitarist of the emergent Scottish blues rock ensemble Stone the Crows. On May 3, 1972, before a concert in Swansea, Wales unfolded, and with approximately 1,200 spectators in attendance, Harvey was engaged in tuning his guitar. In a moment that seemed utterly routine for any experienced musician, he reached for a microphone, a decision that met with tragic consequences. The microphone, having been improperly grounded, became the conduit for a deadly electrical surge that coursed through Harvey's body. The resulting injuries were so severe that Harvey succumbed to them in the hospital. His death, occurring at the tender age of 27, added him to the lamentable list of talented artists whose lives ended prematurely. Sam Patch. The shock and sorrow that reverberate through a crowd upon witnessing the death of a performer are profound, whether it be an actor, a singer, or a professional daredevil. The inherent risks in daredevilry perhaps make such an outcome less surprising, though no less tragic. Sam Patch, who became a renowned daredevil in the early 19th century, was known for his breathtaking leaps from the edge of Passaic Falls in New Jersey into the waters below. With each passing attempt, his stunts grew increasingly audacious and consequently attracted ever-growing audiences. In 1829, a grand narrative was set. On the foreboding date of Friday, November 13th, Patch was to make his last jump, projecting himself from a 125-foot platform over Rochester, New York's high falls of the Genesee River. The term last jump was intended to signal the end of the season's performances. However, a cruel twist of destiny interpreted that phrase with a fatal literalness. The New York Evening Post chronicled the unfortunate event, noting that halfway through his descent, Patch's posture deteriorated. His body slackened, his arms outstretched, his legs parted. His form was disastrously incorrect. Upon impact with the water, something went terribly wrong and Patch failed to resurface. His remains were recovered 4 months later, 6 miles downstream, encased within a block of ice. An examination later deduced that the cause of Patch's demise, mid-fall, was a burst blood vessel triggered by the abrupt exposure to the bracing chill of the November air. Jane Little. Experiencing one's final moments while immersed in a cherished pursuit is a prospect both sorrowful and startling for onlookers, yet some may perceive such an end as having a profound resonance. This sentiment seems fitting for Jane Little, who, as a devoted double bass performer, committed her life to the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. Her journey with the ASO began in 1945, when she was merely 16, and her dedication spanned an extraordinary 7+ decades. Little's lifetime allegiance to music didn't go unnoticed. In February 2016, she achieved recognition from Guinness World Records for having the longest tenure with an orchestra, marking a grand 71 years with the ASO. However, a few months following this accolade, in May 2016, life's delicate cadence came to a close for Little. During a performance that celebrated Broadway's golden age through an array of classic stage melodies, the 87-year-old, who was enduring cancer treatments and was reportedly fragile, passionately continued to play. It was amidst the iconic number, "There's No Business Like Show Business," that Little took her last breath, collapsing with her bass still in hand. Swiftly ushered backstage, it was there that her passionate heart beat its final note. Oney Wheeler. In the era of the 50s and 60s, Oney Wheeler established himself as a prominent fixture in the country music scene, a time when it was more commonly referred to as country and western music. Besides his solo work, the adept guitarist and harmonica player lent his talents to support legends like Johnny Cash, Ray Acuff, and George Jones. Additionally, Lefty Frizzell found considerable success with a song penned by Wheeler titled "Run 'Em Off." By the 70s and 80s, Wheeler was entrenched in Nashville's music sphere, often gracing the stage of the storied Grand Ole Opry. A deep-rooted country music stalwart could scarcely dream of a more fitting final curtain call than one at the Opry, which is precisely the farewell Wheeler had. Wheeler faced a challenging start to the year 1984 when he suffered from an aneurysm, necessitating hospitalization and an extensive recovery period. Undeterred, Wheeler soon found himself back in the limelight. However, in May of that year, while performing at the Opry and during the live taping of Reverend Jimmy Snow's Grand Ole Gospel Time, Wheeler experienced a fatal collapse. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Mike Scaccia. Mike Scaccia was an essential player in the evolution of two pivotal underground rock movements that emerged in the 1980s, thrash metal and industrial metal. His journey into the fray of thrash metal began with the formation of Rigor Mortis in 1983. Later on, he would venture into industrial metal by joining Ministry in 1989 after an invitation from frontman Al Jourgensen, coinciding with the band's transition from a synth-pop foundation to a more robust, guitar-laden and electronic-infused sound. As the lead guitarist of Ministry, Scaccia contributed to their most commercially successful record, Psalm 69, The Way to Succeed and The Way to Suck Eggs, and played on standout tracks like Jesus Built My Hot Rod and NWO. Nevertheless, Scaccia's bond with Rigor Mortis remained, and on December 22, 2012, he found himself playing at the Rail Club in Fort Worth, Texas, to celebrate the 50th birthday of the band's vocalist, Bruce Corbett. In the midst of his performance, Scaccia was suddenly overtaken by a collapse. He was promptly transported to a hospital, yet, regrettably, was declared dead upon arrival. The subsequent findings by a medical examiner attributed the 47-year-old guitarist's untimely death to an unexpected heart attack, which was set off by underlying heart disease. Yu Zhaogu and Ying Zhao, a married couple from China who both played the violin, settled in the Houston area and became integral members of the Symphony of Southeast Texas in the mid-1990s. This ensemble quickly grew to be their primary artistic outlet, with both contributing significantly to its string section over the years. As stand partners, Ying Zhao was tragically close to her husband when, on April 6, 2019, during the orchestra's season finale at a theater in Beaumont, Texas, Yu Zhaogu unexpectedly collapsed from his seat to the floor. The performance came to an immediate halt as audience members, including several doctors and a cardiologist from within the orchestra itself, sprang into action to assist, administering CPR until emergency paramedics arrived. Despite the swift response, by the time Gu was transported to a local hospital, it was tragically too late, and he was declared dead at the age of 60. Mark Sandman. During the 1990s, Morphine distinguished itself as one of the alternative rock scene's most distinctive bands, known for their enigmatic and somewhat disconcerting sound. Much of this unique auditory experience can be attributed to the band's lead singer and bassist, Mark Sandman, who was celebrated for his innovative, slow, deep playing style that infused Morphine's music with a hauntingly eerie quality. Adding a chilling layer to this narrative was the sudden heart attack Sandman suffered while performing. The tragic event unfolded in 1999 during the Giardini del Principe festival just outside Rome. Sandman, who was 46 years old at the time and appeared to be in good health, abruptly ceased his performance and collapsed on stage. In the critical minutes that followed, as he was being transported to a hospital in an ambulance, Sandman was declared deceased. The unexpected loss of the musician left thousands of fans and spectators in disbelief. Morphine's band members and their circle were equally overwhelmed by grief, with their manager conveying to the Los Angeles Times their profound devastation, stating, "We're devastated. We don't even know what to say. We're all in shock." Louis Vierne. In the early decades of the 20th century, Louis Vierne occupied what many would consider the pinnacle position for a church organist, serving as the resident organist at the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Vierne was a master of the organ, drawing crowds eager to experience his ethereal performances, especially of his own compositions, which included 6 symphonies. However, in 1937, the Catholic Church clergy overseeing Notre Dame made the decision to cease all organ recitals. Thankfully, they allowed Vierne one final performance on June 2, 1937. Vierne, who could be likened to the Elvis Presley of organists during his era, had weathered a series of personal tragedies alongside his professional triumphs. These misfortunes included infidelity by his wife, the death of one son from tuberculosis, and the loss of another in World War I. Furthermore, a severe fall that badly damaged his leg and ankle forced him to painstakingly relearn his technique for playing the organ pedals. The accumulation of these stresses led Vierne to a heavy dependency on cigarettes, consuming up to 3 packs a day, and regular use of heart medication, tranquilizers, and sleeping pills. Vierne's final performance at Notre Dame drew a crowd of approximately 3,000 people. This concert, unbeknownst to those in attendance, would become his ultimate appearance. After completing an original piece, he whispered to his assistant, "I'm going to be ill," as reported by HuffPost. Vierne then played a single sustained note, a note that unceasingly resonated as it became clear he had passed away from a heart attack in his most cherished place. Edith Webster. Webster was a beloved figure in the suburban Baltimore theater scene, frequently gracing the stage at the Towson Moose Lodge. In November 1986, she reprised a familiar role, the grandmother-in-law of the central character in The Drunkard, a musical melodrama with origins in the 19th century. This role called for her character's demise at the climax of the first act, immediately following the rendition of "Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone." Webster completed her performance of the ballad, dramatically grasped her heart, and collapsed on stage as the lights dimmed, mirroring an eerily accurate portrayal of her character's scripted death. In a tragic twist of fate, this moment saw Webster suffering a real heart attack, leading to her actual demise. The audience, immersed in the theatre experience, initially interpreted Webster's fall as part of the act, responding with enthusiastic applause for what they believed was the end of a compelling performance. Unbeknownst to them, they had witnessed a tragic event. The play's director, Richard Byrd, reflected on the poignant timing of Webster's passing to United Press International, as reported by the Los Angeles Times, noting that tremendous applause was the final earthly acknowledgement Webster received, marking her final curtain call in a profoundly solemn manner. Leonard Warren. Operas frequently portray narratives steeped in sorrow and calamity, a hallmark that often defines the genre. Leonard Warren, hailed as one of the greatest American baritones, tragically deepened the art form's association with tragedy through his unexpected death on stage, contributing an unforgettable chapter to the annals of opera history. In March 1960, during a performance at the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City, Warren was embodying the character of Don Carlo in Giuseppe Verdi's La Forza del Destino. At around 10 p.m., in the immediate aftermath of delivering the aria Urna Fatale del mio destino, ominously translating to Fatal Urn of My Destiny, Warren's voice faltered, his strength waned, and he collapsed onto the stage. Within the span of a mere half hour, the celebrated baritone was declared deceased. The subsequent autopsy concluded that a sudden heart attack had claimed his life, marking an eerie convergence of the opera's melancholic themes with a real-life misfortune. Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall, hailing from Sydney, Australia, carved out a commendable niche for himself in the Hollywood of the 1930s and 40s as a versatile actor capable of embodying an array of roles. Often cast as the antagonist, a steadfast soldier, or the initial love interest of the lead female character, who inevitably leaves him for her true love, Marshall showcased his range in both film and theatre. His dedication to his theatrical origins was evident as he continued to perform in plays alongside his film work, marking a full-circle moment in his final act. In what would become his swan song, Marshall took to the stage in Sextet, a risque comedy penned and headlined by the iconic Mae West. At the age of 52, while performing at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago, Marshall suffered a heart attack mid-performance. Demonstrating an extraordinary commitment to his craft, he summoned the will to complete his performance despite the dire circumstances. However, following the conclusion of Sextet, Marshall's condition took a tragic turn and he was subsequently discovered deceased in his hotel room, leaving behind a legacy of professionalism and a devotion to the performing arts that endures beyond his final curtain call. Simon Barere. In 1951, the renowned Russian pianist Simon Barere took his place at the piano in Carnegie Hall, preparing to perform alongside the Philadelphia Orchestra for the first time. For approximately the first 2 minutes, Barere's performance was nothing short of exceptional, a testament to his unparalleled skill. However, it wasn't long before the audience began to perceive a troubling change in Barere's execution. The precision of his tempo wavered, accompanied by the intrusion of discordant notes. This worrying trend reached its climax when Barere ceased playing altogether, his body succumbing to a forward slump that ended with his head striking the piano keys, followed by his fall to the floor. Promptly, a doctor in attendance rushed to Barere's aid, aiding in carrying the stricken musician backstage. As the audience sat in distressed anticipation, Swedish tenor Seth Svanholm continued with the scheduled performance, providing a stark contrast to the urgent medical battle unfolding behind the scenes. Despite the determined efforts of 3 doctors to resuscitate the 54-year-old pianist in his dressing room, their attempts were in vain. Barere was declared dead even before the arrival of an ambulance, with a stroke being identified as the cause of his tragic demise, marking a somber end to his illustrious career. The stories we've shared are a solemn reminder of the unpredictable and often poignant path of performers whose final curtain fell unexpectedly. These tales undoubtedly stir emotions and provoke thought about the sacrifice for art. As we reflect on their legacies, what's your take? Does their final act underscore the fragility of life or celebrate the dedication to their craft? Comment yes if these stories move you, no if you see them differently. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for iconicinside for more compelling discussions. Your insights enrich our community, so let's hear them. 25 actors currently battling. Behind the glamour of Hollywood, a shocking reality lies hidden. The lights, camera, and action can't disguise the painful battles our favorite stars face. You won't believe the secret struggles of these 25 actors who have been fighting for their lives and their careers. From chronic illnesses to mysterious afflictions, these brave actors have been quietly suffering, and it's time their stories are told. Get ready for a revealing look into the unseen struggles of Tinseltown's elite. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, renowned for his action-packed roles, is stepping away from the spotlight due to a diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia, FTD. This news, made public by his family in February 2023, comes after an initial announcement in March 2022 about his departure from acting related to aphasia, impairing his speech. FTD, often referred to as the cruelest disease you've never heard of, impacts behavior and cognitive function more than memory. Since Willis's condition became known, it has drawn considerable attention to FTD, a disease not widely recognized. One of his daughters shared on a talk show how challenging and rare his dementia is, yet she emphasized the family's enduring love and joy in spending time with him. Their connection grows through their shared love of music, and they remain united despite the challenges. His spouse mentions that looking after him is demanding, yet simply being in his presence, even if he can't grasp everything, is comforting. Their daughters are gaining valuable insights by caring for him. They keep him involved in their lives through social media, posting snippets from Thanksgiving and updates on their well-being. In the face of adversity, Bruce was able to spend Father's Day with his grandchildren, sharing moments of affection despite his illness. One of his daughters expressed on Instagram how precious it is for her to watch her father cradle her child. They mark birthdays and other significant occasions with genuine expressions of affection, like the heartwarming birthday video where they serenade him. These moments of joy, amidst the struggles, highlight the family's resilience and deep love. Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie stands as a captivating personality in Hollywood, acclaimed not just for her acting prowess, but also for her significant contributions to humanitarian causes and her distinctive charm both in the limelight and behind the scenes. She carries an enigmatic quality, creating a mysterious veneer that enhances her appeal. Beyond her performances on the screen, Jolie has captured public attention for her commitment to advocating for global concerns such as the rights of refugees and the empowerment of women. More than a celebrity, Jolie has openly discussed her personal health battles. In 2013, she made waves by announcing her choice to undergo a preventative double mastectomy, upon learning she had a mutation in the BRCA1 gene, drastically raising her risk for breast and ovarian cancers. This courageous disclosure initiated vital discourse on women's health and the proactive steps available to combat cancer. Following her candid revelation, Angelina Jolie disclosed that she also had her ovaries and fallopian tubes surgically removed as a preventive measure against cancer, marking another instance where she was transparent about a significant health decision. Does Angelina Jolie's openness about her health struggles resonate with you? Let us know in the comments with a yes, inspiring, or no, not inspiring. Like and share to celebrate her strength and dedication to empowering women. Michael J. Fox. Let's dive into the story of Michael J. Fox, famously known for his role in Back to the Future. Since 1991, at the young age of 29, he's been battling Parkinson's disease. The journey has been incredibly challenging. The condition affects his balance severely, leading to numerous injuries, including a shoulder surgery and breaks to his elbow, hand, and even his face. Parkinson's leaves him dealing with stiffness, tremors, and coordination issues. However, the impact isn't solely physical. The disease also strains his mental well-being as he navigates the complexities of Parkinson's alongside personal losses and the everyday hurdles life throws his way. Though he has a support system in place to minimize falls, the loss of privacy can be difficult to endure. Yet, amidst these hardships, he draws strength from the love and support of his family, cherishing the moments spent with them. He remains hopeful, fully aware of the risks in simple daily activities due to his propensity to fall. For over 3 decades, Fox has faced Parkinson's with remarkable resilience. Through his foundation, he's dedicated himself to raising significant funds and awareness, aiming to advance research for better treatments and, ultimately, a cure for this debilitating disease. Wendy Williams. In 2018, Wendy Williams shared a pivotal moment on television regarding her health, revealing she was diagnosed with Graves' disease. She acknowledged that, similar to many other women, she had neglected her own health while managing other responsibilities. However, upon discovering her condition, she chose transparency, using her platform to increase awareness about Graves' disease. Wendy Williams openly discussed her struggle with this condition on her show in February 2018, detailing how it affected her thyroid and led to noticeable changes in her eyes, which her viewers had pointed out. With humor, she relayed her doctor's advice to take a work hiatus, quipping that she's not the type to easily take time off. Since her diagnosis in 2018, identifying the underlying issue was initially challenging, as she mistook the symptoms for menopause. However, during a Halloween episode in 2017, Wendy Williams experienced a fainting spell, alongside other health complications, such as elevated blood pressure and sodium imbalances. This incident signaled to her that there may be underlying health issues, yet she persisted with her show. Currently, she shares that her well-being has improved significantly from the onset of these problems. She acknowledges that neglecting regular medical exams contributed to the aggravation of her situation. She's been managing Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism for 19 years. Unfortunately, her health challenges have compounded recently. Reports have emerged revealing that Wendy Williams is now facing dementia and aphasia, conditions that are also affecting actor Bruce Willis. This news has deeply saddened fans of the former talk show host, who is 59 years old. Despite these difficult circumstances, fans continue to cherish the unforgettable moments Wendy Williams has provided them. Love this video? Show some love with a like and a subscribe. Hate it? A like would still be awesome, and your feedback in the comments will help me improve. Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller has consistently entertained us with his humor and distinctive charm in a string of movies throughout the years, starting from his contributions to Saturday Night Live to unforgettable performances in There's Something About Mary, Meet the Parents, and Zoolander. Stiller has secured his place as one of the most cherished comedic actors in Hollywood. Yet apart from his comedic persona, Stiller has demonstrated remarkable resilience in dealing with personal health battles. In 2016, at 48 years old, he shared his diagnosis of prostate cancer with the public. Choosing transparency over privacy, he voiced his experience to encourage other men to undergo screening for the disease. Stiller's candid narrative regarding his battle with cancer has heightened awareness on the criticality of early diagnosis and has motivated men to take their health seriously. Thankfully, due to the early detection of his cancer, Stiller was able to receive effective treatment. Selma Blair. Selma Blair has been remarkably candid about her battle with multiple sclerosis. She announced her diagnosis in 2018 at the age of 51. Multiple sclerosis disrupts the nervous system, hindering the brain's ability to communicate with the rest of the body. In 2021, she joyously announced her remission, indicating that her symptoms were being managed effectively without the onset of new issues with her nerves. Despite the improvement, Blair continues to face daily challenges including persistent muscle spasms and stiffness. She underwent an intensive treatment to reboot her immune system, yet still endures considerable pain. However, Blair has found some solace, experiencing relief from certain long-standing aches and maintains regular treatments to keep her symptoms at bay. Beyond her personal battles, Blair is dedicated to leveraging her visibility to support others facing disabilities. She is actively involved in designing adaptive clothing to simplify dressing for those with similar challenges and advocates for more accessible healthcare for everyone with MS. By sharing her story, Blair aims to foster a sense of community and support among those affected. Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has been candid about her battle with lupus, an autoimmune disease that can wreak havoc on the body. It causes pain, fatigue, and can even impact mental health. Gomez has spoken openly about her lupus journey, including needing a kidney transplant and undergoing chemotherapy. Despite these challenges, she has been an inspiration to others, sharing her experiences and raising awareness. One aspect she addressed was the changes in her body due to medication. Gomez recently went public about her fight with lupus, prompting KPRC2's Lisa Hernandez to highlight the star's struggles and the common symptoms of the disease. Lupus treatments can lead to water weight fluctuations, and Gomez felt compelled to explain these changes, even though she shouldn't have to. Treating lupus is challenging because it affects individuals differently. Medications like hydroxychloroquine can help manage inflammation but come with their own side effects. Steroids are also used but can cause various side effects, including weight changes, headaches, and mood swings. Dan Reynolds. Dan Reynolds, the acclaimed lead vocalist of Imagine Dragons, a band renowned for winning a Grammy Award, has publicly shared his battle with ankylosing spondylitis, AS, which is a form of inflammatory arthritis mostly targeting the spine. Diagnosed with AS during his early 20s, Reynolds went through several years enduring severe back pain and stiffness in his joints. He characterized the pain intensity as either an 8 or 9 on a scale of 10, which caused his blood pressure to drastically increase due to persistent discomfort. Reynolds' sibling, who is also affected by AS, has experienced a total fusion of his spinal bones, a state referred to as ankylosis. This condition drastically hinders one's ability to move. In his fight against AS, Reynolds commits to a daily regimen of exercise, yoga, and adheres to a nutritious diet. Although he encounters periodic bouts of the condition, it's now under control, allowing him to enjoy a dynamic life that includes surfing, running, and weightlifting. Reynolds has joined forces with the Spondylitis Association of America and Novartis, a pharmaceutical giant, to enhance awareness regarding AS. Despite impacting approximately 2 million Americans, AS is still relatively under the radar for most people. Through divulging his own journey, Reynolds aspires to motivate those suffering from undiagnosed or inadequately treated AS to pursue appropriate medical assistance and therapy, emphasizing that timely action is essential to mitigate the acute impacts of this long-standing ailment. Dan Reynolds' bravery in sharing his battle with ankylosing spondylitis is truly inspiring. Have you or a loved one faced a similar struggle? Share your story in the comments with a yes or no. Like and share to raise awareness for AS and support those affected. Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman stands as a multifaceted icon in Hollywood, celebrated for his multifarious talents as an actor, vocalist, and dancer. He is perhaps most revered for embodying the legendary superhero Wolverine in the X-Men movie saga, a character that propelled him to global stardom and solidified his place as one of the elite actors in Hollywood. However, Jackman's expertise isn't limited to wielding mutant claws and donning superhero garb. He has demonstrated his substantial acting skills across a variety of roles, including romantic dramas such as Australia and musical masterpieces like Les Miserables, the latter earning him a nod from the Academy Awards. His capacity to seamlessly merge into varied roles with sincerity and depth has garnered him praise from both spectators and critics across the board. Beyond his cinematic accomplishments, Jackman shines as a skilled singer and entertainer. He has charmed audiences on Broadway with performances in shows like The Boy from Oz, securing a Tony Award for his depiction of Peter Allen. With his enthralling stage presence and robust singing talent, Jackman has become a standout figure in theatre as well as on film. Jackman has also navigated through personal health obstacles, including multiple encounters with skin cancer. He has taken a proactive stance in promoting the significance of sun protection and routine skin screenings, leveraging his personal journey to inspire others to prioritize their health. Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, the celebrated actress, has openly shared her experience with ovarian cancer. In 2003, when she was 55 years old, Bates was diagnosed with stage 1 ovarian cancer, after which she immediately underwent surgery and then 9 months of chemotherapy. Differing from some celebrities, Bates chose to keep her diagnosis private at first, believing she needed to confront it independently. Bates disclosed that she was counseled to keep her cancer battle a secret because of contractual commitments to a film project she was involved in at that time. However, by 2009, Bates decided to make her story public, announcing that she had been cancer-free for over 5 years. Bates expressed her admiration for individuals who tackle cancer head-on without hiding their struggles, inspired by people like Melissa Etheridge. Following her victory over ovarian cancer, Bates took on the role of a spokesperson, collaborating with the Ovarian National Cancer Alliance to boost awareness about the condition. She has participated in interviews and public service campaigns aimed at educating the public and persuading women to stay proactive about their health. Bates's candor regarding her battle highlights the significance of early detection and the urgent need for continued research to fight this formidable type of cancer. Cynthia Nixon. Cynthia Nixon, famously known for her character Miranda in the TV series Sex and the City, has also publicly shared her personal battle with breast cancer. Breast cancer originates in the breast tissue and is quite prevalent among women, though it does affect men as well, albeit at a much lower rate. Cynthia Nixon found herself facing this diagnosis in 2006, echoing the sentiment that early detection of breast cancer is crucial, though challenging, as symptoms might not immediately manifest. Following her diagnosis, Nixon underwent a regimen of treatments that typically include surgery, chemotherapy, and in some cases, radiation therapy. Her openness about her treatment journey played a vital role in enhancing awareness about breast cancer and the critical importance of regular checkups for early detection. Nixon's experience brings to light that breast cancer can touch anyone regardless of their celebrity status, and underscores the message that early treatment and detection can lead to overcoming the disease. Sharon Stone. In 2001, renowned actress Sharon Stone underwent a critical health crisis when she had a severe brain hemorrhage. Stone shared the frightening episode, mentioning how she found herself waking up in an emergency room in Los Angeles, grappling with severe head pain, only to discover a doctor had opted to conduct exploratory brain surgery on her without her approval. Subsequent examinations showed that Stone's vertebral artery had burst completely, leading to her brain bleeding for 9 continuous days. She had to undergo an urgent surgery that lasted 7 hours, followed by an exhaustive recovery period that spanned 2 years. Throughout this ordeal, Stone faced several harsh consequences, including facial paralysis, challenges in walking, significant stuttering, and recurrent brain seizures, necessitating daily medication. She also talked about enduring severe pain with unusual knotted growths on her head that felt akin to receiving punches. Nonetheless, Stone has become a prominent spokesperson, collaborating with entities such as the Barrow Neurological Institute to boost awareness on brain health and support research efforts. She has also been candid about the effects of her invisible disability, stressing the significance of not allowing hardships to shape one's identity. Yolanda Hadid. Yolanda Hadid, known for her appearance on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, encountered significant difficulties while managing neurological Lyme disease during her time on the show. Navigating through her condition was challenging, particularly when faced with accusations of exaggerating her sickness. Yolanda wishes she had realized earlier that Lyme disease demands a long-term commitment to combat. Even after more than a decade, she continues to battle the disease, grappling with symptoms such as exhaustion, loss of memory, and sleep disturbances. Despite these hurdles, her children have provided immense support. Managing a chronic illness like Lyme disease is formidable, necessitating extensive treatments and adjustments in lifestyle, often resembling a relentless struggle. Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has contended with epilepsy since his childhood, but initially he seldom discussed it amidst rising fame. This reticence shifted after a severe seizure necessitated a week-long hospitalization. Since that incident, he's been more vocal about his condition, addressing it in interviews and acknowledging how it influences his performances. To prioritize his well-being, he even modifies his travel arrangements. Epilepsy, a neurological disorder characterized by seizures, can stem from various causes, including brain trauma or genetic predispositions. Although incurable, treatments like medications, dietary adjustments, or surgery can manage its symptoms. Wayne has encountered significant challenges due to epilepsy, enduring dangerous seizures triggered by stress and overexertion. These episodes have occasionally occurred in high-stress environments, including during flights. Over the years, he's suffered multiple seizures, some associated with his demanding schedule. In 2022, 2 minor seizures during a flight led to another hospital visit. Yet, Wayne remains resilient, continuing his musical and touring endeavors. Despite experiencing a scare at a Los Angeles concert in 2023, he demonstrates that it's possible to pursue one's ambitions despite living with health conditions like epilepsy. Robin Roberts. From our ABC family, a news update on Robin Roberts, our guiding light at Good Morning America. 5 years after confronting breast cancer head-on, today she revealed to everyone a new obstacle she has faced with remarkable resilience and privacy, maintaining her commitments to her team before making her situation public today. Let's delve into the subject of Robin Roberts and myelodysplastic syndrome, MDS, a rather uncommon blood disorder. Known as the co-anchor of ABC's Good Morning America in 2012, Robin courageously disclosed her diagnosis with MDS. While MDS is distinct from cancer, it remains a grave condition influencing both the bone marrow and blood, leading to issues such as anemia and increased susceptibility to infections. To combat her MDS, Robin Roberts required a bone marrow transplant, a procedure that entails replacing unhealthy bone marrow with healthy cells from a donor dealing with a disease that impacts the bone. Through a complicated procedure offering potential life-saving outcomes for MDS, among other blood disorders, Robin underwent the transplant. Following the procedure, she took a hiatus from television to concentrate on her recuperation and health. Her transparency about her experience has offered encouragement and hope to many confronting similar health quandaries. After her triumphant recovery, Robin Roberts made her return to Good Morning America, continuing to excel as both an anchor and a source of inspiration for those fighting against rare diseases like MDS. Nick Jonas, renowned for his music and acting, has openly discussed his ongoing struggle with type 1 diabetes since being diagnosed at 13. He has provided an intimate look into his efforts to manage this lifelong ailment. Jonas quickly encountered typical type 1 diabetes symptoms like constant thirst, frequent urination, fatigue, and sudden weight loss soon after his diagnosis. His family, observing these warning signs, acted swiftly to get medical help, a decision that was crucial for his survival. He has expressed immense gratitude towards his family, particularly his mother, for their quick action and support during a time when general diabetes awareness was not as prevalent. This prompt medical intervention was vital for starting his treatment early on. Shaken but unfazed by his diagnosis, Jonas was committed to not letting diabetes impede his life. He resumed performing with the Jonas Brothers and has since been a prominent figure in promoting diabetes awareness and education. Through his charity, Beyond Type 1, Jonas is dedicated to uplifting individuals affected by diabetes and advocating for early diagnosis. He highlights the significance of self-management techniques such as regular blood glucose monitoring, a balanced diet, and mental health care, which he practices in his daily life. Montel Williams. Montel Williams, the Emmy-winning talk show host, has been candid about his lifelong struggle with multiple sclerosis, MS. Diagnosed in 1999 at the age of 43, Williams initially kept his pain and struggles private. However, he ultimately chose to share his story with the world. And during his talk show, Williams would often conduct interviews with composure, but then retreat backstage during commercial breaks to cope with the debilitating pain caused by his condition. MS, a chronic autoimmune disease that attacks the central nervous system, led Williams to experience a variety of symptoms, including electrical pain throughout his body, difficulty processing high temperatures, and even episodes of near suffocation. Despite the challenges he faced, Williams became a vocal advocate for MS awareness and research. He established the Montel Williams MS Foundation to fund crucial studies and provide support for those living with the disease. Williams has also been a proponent of medical marijuana, crediting it with helping to alleviate his constant pain. Through his openness and determination, Williams has inspired others with MS to take control of their health and not allow the condition to define them. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, the celebrated actor, has encountered numerous health issues in the past few years. In 2023, at the age of 86, he was obliged to withdraw from a scheduled press tour in the UK due to a contagious infection that caused him a fever. The actor's spokesperson mentioned that his doctor advised the infection was contagious, leading to the cancellation of his appearances for his latest show, Special Ops Lioness. Thankfully, Freeman has recovered from the infection and is no longer deemed contagious. Alongside this recent health scare, Freeman has been vocal about his ongoing fight with fibromyalgia, a chronic condition characterized by widespread pain which he has lived with since 2008. This condition was a consequence of a severe car crash that occurred that year, leaving him with permanent nerve damage and a continuous battle with fibromyalgia. To alleviate the pain, Freeman often wears a black compression glove, which was noticeable during his 2023 Oscars appearance. Despite these health hurdles, Freeman continues to be vigorous in his acting endeavors, embracing new roles and projects. By divulging his health struggles, Freeman aims to enlighten others on the truth of coping with chronic health issues and stresses the significance of prioritizing health, particularly within the rigorous demands of the entertainment sector. Halle Berry. Halle Berry took her health very seriously during the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly because of her diabetes. She was extra vigilant during lockdown and designated a specific zone in her home for items from outside to be placed until they were deemed safe. With diabetes increasing the risk of severe illness from COVID-19, Berry was leaving nothing to chance. However, her concerns extended beyond just the virus. Diabetes can also compromise bone strength. While shooting John Wick Chapter 3, she ended up breaking 3 ribs, initially thinking it was due to her bone condition before attributing it to her diabetes. Despite the lockdown, Berry kept active indoors. She incorporated her 6-year-old son into her workout routine, using him as a unique weight for squats. She also maintained her physical health by going on hikes, runs, or walks around her neighborhood. These outdoor activities were vital for her mental and physical well-being during the uncertain times of the pandemic. Anthony Anderson. Anthony Anderson, known for his roles in Blackish and Barbershop, has been managing his type 2 diabetes and heart conditions with a positive outlook. He's collaborating with Novo Nordisk on their Get Real About Diabetes campaign. With more than 2 decades of experience living with type 2 diabetes, Anderson has gained valuable insights into managing his condition through healthy lifestyle choices, including a balanced diet and regular physical activity. He understands the importance of maintaining normal blood sugar levels to protect his blood vessels and reduce the risk of heart problems. The relationship between diabetes and cardiovascular health is a serious matter for Anderson, but he remains optimistic. He stresses that diabetes is common and its management largely depends on leading a balanced lifestyle. Together with Dr. Helen Barron, Anderson aims to educate people on the key pillars of diabetes management: nutrition, exercise, and when necessary, medication. Recognizing his influence as a celebrity, Anderson is committed to making a positive impact. He often hears from individuals who are motivated by his openness about his journey towards healthier living. Through the Get Real website, he shares his experiences and advice, hoping to encourage others within his community to embrace a healthier lifestyle and demonstrate that change is attainable. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, the renowned actor, opened up about his struggles with type 2 diabetes while promoting his film Elvis. He shared how challenging the condition has been for him, attributing the difficulty to his family's diabetic history and his unhealthy dietary habits. Hanks discovered he was pre-diabetic in 2011, but initially didn't give it much attention until it escalated to full-blown type 2 diabetes. In response, Hanks embarked on a weight loss journey aiming to return to his size during high school. He incorporated daily workouts into his routine, spending an hour each day on activities like running on a treadmill, walking, or hiking with his dog. Dietary changes were also a significant part of his battle against diabetes. Hanks, who used to indulge in food without much thought, now exercises caution with his meals, ensuring he eats healthily, even if it means less variety at times. Though he occasionally deviates from his diet and feels remorseful, he maintains a routine involving morning coffee, exercise, and a shower to keep himself aligned with his health goals. Managing his diabetes has been an ongoing struggle for Hanks, but he remains committed to staying healthy. George Clooney. George Clooney was a guest on Jimmy Kimmel's anniversary show, where he recounted a period during his teenage years when he suffered from Bell's palsy, a disorder that causes temporary paralysis of the facial muscles on one side. As Kimmel was about to present some humorous old photographs, Clooney took everyone by surprise by showing an image of himself with facial paralysis and dared Kimmel to crack a joke about it. However, Kimmel found himself at a loss for words, leading to a more solemn atmosphere. The conversation had initially taken a lighter turn when Kimmel displayed a youthful photo of Clooney sporting a bowl cut and glasses, prompting Clooney to quip about his mother being responsible for the haircut. This led to the reveal of another photograph showing Clooney with an uneven smile due to Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is known to temporarily affect one side of the face. Its exact cause remains uncertain, and it typically occurs only once in a lifetime. For Clooney, it was simply a chapter in his adolescence and is no longer an issue for him. Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana faces a challenging journey with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, an autoimmune condition shared with her mother and sisters. This disorder essentially turns the body against itself, leading to extreme fatigue as the immune response mistakenly targets bodily tissues. It inhibits the body's energy production by generating antibodies that attack the glands. To manage her condition, Saldana has altered her diet by eliminating gluten and dairy, a significant pivot for a self-proclaimed food lover. In her 20s, a seemingly healthy phase of her life, she received concerning news from her physician about bone calcium depletion, mirroring her mother and grandmother's experiences. Nonetheless, Saldana continues to forge ahead. As a mother of twin boys and an active actress, she frequently finds herself as the lone female on set, but remains committed to enacting positive change. She leverages her platform to support and empower women, persistently battling her illness with resilience and determination. Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman's journey through colon cancer during his prolific acting career is a testament to the incredible fortitude and persistence individuals can exhibit amid challenging circumstances. While battling a grave health issue, Boseman relentlessly pursued his acting career, leaving a lasting legacy in the film industry. He embraced a variety of roles, mesmerizing viewers with his dynamic portrayals. All the while, he waged a private battle against cancer, a fact he courageously chose not to disclose publicly. Boseman's unwavering dedication to his art and his resolve to continue providing meaningful performances in spite of his health predicaments underscore his remarkable character and resolve. The actor succumbed to colon cancer after a 4-year battle, passing away at the age of 43. Through his portrayals of legendary figures such as Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and T'Challa in Black Panther, Boseman not only highlighted his exceptional talent, but also created a profound connection with global audiences. His choice to keep his illness private mirrors his modesty and his focus on his contributions to his art, rather than seeking compassion or recognition. His unexpected passing in 2020 shocked many, leading to a wave of mourning and homage from admirers, peers, and the entertainment community. Witnessing these 15 actors bravely face health challenges yet continue to inspire is nothing short of remarkable. Their stories are a testament to human resilience. Did their incredible journeys move you? If so, let your support shine through by liking and sharing this video. Jump into the comments. Give us a yes if you found their stories inspiring, or a no if they didn't quite touch you. And don't forget, for more heartening stories like these, hit subscribe on iconicinside. Your interaction fuels our passion to bring these compelling narratives to light.